Good morning, everyone. Today is August 1st, 2019. It is 72, but feels like 76 here in North Idaho. I'm Jody, and welcome to Moose Flats Farm. So I think it's about time to go around and do a little bit of a garden tour, see what it looks like now. It's been a while. In the greenhouse, haven't had the opportunity to come through and do some pruning, but I'm getting some good sized tomatoes. Note to self, label things next year, because this pepper, it's a little rectangle shaped. I'm not sure what kind it is. The massive petunias are starting to bloom. I got that giant mess of tomatoes. Not as worried about pruning them back because they are protected from the first couple frosts in here, so the fruit should develop. But I believe this is a black Hungarian because I do have that one pepper pot labeled. Peppers come in here. The Mad Hatter pepper is finally got a flower on it, and it's just big and gangly. The black Hungarian in its pot is loaded. Gonna have to clean some of those off. I've got banana peppers coming on good, and even though, let's see if I can get where we can see. And even though those are labeled the home saved seeds, they look like jalapenos. Bell peppers coming on. Looks like the Chinese 5-star is finally getting some peppers coming on it. Pretty little purple flower. This big squash, he's just getting huge, can almost watch him daily grow. This one isn't growing as fast. So hopefully it takes off. The squash is in there. Can't tell if there's any on the other side of the fence, but do have a couple that are on the outside. So would assume somewhere in that jungle there's lots of them. The daylily pot out here is starting to bloom. Got lots of honeybees buzzing the flowers. The foxgloves are starting to take off. The petunias in the window boxes are looking super pretty. And the grape has finally reached the second piece of lattice work. The Serendipity Morning Glory, it's got a really pretty little flower on it. And it's going up that little trellis I made it really good, and starting out on the fence. The pear tree is liking being planted in the ground. It's got new growth coming on all its tips. So it also gets, when we water the potato bed, because right where it's at, it gets watered from there too. The perennial sunflowers are starting to bloom. So here in just a couple weeks, this will just be a giant mass of pretty little yellow sunflowers. The marigolds are blooming, looking pretty, and the ducks have been trimming them a little bit. The sunflower pot here in the duck pen is getting covered in sunflowers. The wild birds will be happy for that this fall. Just like right now, the honeybees are happy. Not as impressed with my hanging baskets, but I've never had much luck with waves in the full sun for some reason. Mother Nature planted petunia in with the broccoli. That's almost getting done. The cauliflower has yet to put on any flowers, so not sure if we're going to get any. Here's another angle of that. Serendipity Morning Glory. Let's see if I get some sun on it. Potato bed is still going. The marigolds I planted in there are starting to come on. So as the potatoes die down, the marigolds will take over. Lots of tassels on my corn. And silk. So we will have corn this year. This short, fat sunflower has reached its height, only about 3.5 feet, because it's starting to open up. The bell peppers in the ground are doing really good. Not sure what one that is, but lots of bell peppers coming on, and the one lone corn. The giant cabbages are getting huge. Gonna have to decide what we're gonna be doing with them. But went through yesterday and cleaned up all the tomato plants. Just 'cause out here in a month and a half, I could have a hard frost, and I want to get as much fruit as I can. But I just spotted my first ripening tomato. Got one there, and that guy there, quite a few of these ones are starting to get color, and that wasn't there yesterday. And here's the other row of tomatoes. Still think it's crazy how these ones have these clusters of fruit and then another branch. This one is absolutely loaded, and it's got nice big ones coming on. The acorn squash is covered with blossoms, but only have that one fruit so far. They need to hurry up. The green Valkyrie got out. The green zucchinis are producing really well. Need to get out here and get some more picked, because I've got a nice long one there. But my yellow, not so much. Got to come in and maybe cut off all the little stuff and see if that gets it going. A couple weeks ago, I had a couple of the Walla Wallas that put off the onion scapes. They were the little closed head, and I just popped them off and set them here and forgot about them. And they went to bloom. They went to bloom. A couple of the marigolds in the Walla Walla bed are starting to bloom. And the Walla Wallas are starting to go. So we'll have Walla Wallas for sure. The red onions didn't do as well. I think part of it is shade and the fact that this was the last bed we did and it just didn't have the right amount of stuff in it. We'll be fixing that next year. But this is a Montana hybrid blue corn, and look at the pretty tassels on it. That's the corn we planted, and the tassels are all varying colors, or not. Yeah, the tassels. No, that's so. Yep, the tassels. So I got purple here and a white one there. The chocolate mint and petunias are starting to go, looking really pretty. Little cabbage head, carrots and peppers. This one is just loaded with blossoms. I got an emaciated tomato. Another eggplant, and its blossom has been fertilized. Got a bunch of big tomatoes over there on that one. Decent size head on this cabbage. Little smaller on that one. Carrots. And some more big tomatoes. And that winter squash has got blossoms on it and starting to go up the trellis. And then my crinkly tomatoes. They're looking not as green as they were, so hopefully they're getting ready to start to turn so we can make salsa. Another eggplant with a bunch of blossoms on it. But this squash, and I'm thinking it's a spaghetti, got two guys on them. And look at all that cluster of cherry tomatoes. The scarlet runner beans over here are starting to put off their fruit. This one has reached the top and started back over. The green beans have started to really take off and climb up there with the scarlet runner beans. And the green beans are starting to get some blossoms on them. Just see a couple. Oh wait. There's a couple way up there. But I'm gonna have to grab the ladder and come and get some scarlet runner beans picked. But that trellis is just loaded full of scarlet runner beans. And this cabbage on the one in bed is getting pretty good. And look, an eggplant, but it doesn't have any blossoms. And I finally did get cucumbers to start. Got 2 there, 2 there, 1 right there in my shadow, and then 2 over there. And this one over here, even though it's tiny, it's got blossoms on it. It's in the morning, so it's not open yet, but it looked so cute yesterday. The other side of the trellis. So that's an individual spot report on what's going on in the garden. Been working on weeding and trying to stay on top of that and making sure everything's getting what it needs. The spearmint has really filled out that pot. Glad I didn't plant 2 in each pot. The peppermint over here has completely filled that pot. And the little sweet pea that's deciding to grow in the potato bed, it's almost ready to bloom. The apple trees are loaded. This one has the least amount of fruit on it, but that's fine because last year it had way too much. And this one had like no fruit last year and is completely covered this year. No fruit last year, loaded this year. The raspberries are about 75% done. Gotten a couple gallons, not counting, make it almost 3 gallons, not counting what we've eaten. But over here at the house, have that yucca blooming, the flowering weeping cherry, and the pretty Japanese maple. This lemon or lime is looking nice and healthy, but don't see any blossoms on it yet. The other night we had a huge windstorm and kind of knocked over my sunflowers a little bit. No real way to tie them up, but they sure are pretty. And we got the yucca cane planted into its new pot, so it looks nice and pretty. The delphiniums have run their course, so I pruned them back and had a couple of those waves that I just popped in around that one. And it's actually, that was the first one I pruned back, and it's filling back out, so there is hope that this pot won't look half empty. The ivy, and this is where I do best with my wave petunias is in this planter box down at the house. Another ivy. And my poor palms. When Valkyrie was and the turkeys were down here, they decided that the pygmy palms tasted pretty good. And we got the hydrangea transplanted, and hopefully my camera will stay in focus. The hydrangea is got blossoms on it. Thinking it's going to be the white oak leaf hydrangea. This palm is finally starting to come back from being sunburnt. We got this ivy and the astilbe back here. Go around to the other side. The astilbe is getting close to have run its flowering course, and I'll just prune the flower stalks off. The Christmas cactus that my dad gave me is loving being outside here. It's just covered in new growth. The immortal herb is still just basically there. It's not dying, but not taken off like crazy. The citronella plant, got it transplanted and it's taken off. Looks so pretty on the deck. Pineapple still looks good. The avocado, not so much. I did a newbie mistake on it. Yeah, newbie mistake. It's hot, it had aphids on it. Wiped the aphids off and should have stopped there. But no, I then proceeded to spray it with a bug killer. Yeah, don't do that when it's uber hot. So, hopefully I didn't kill it. And one of the last things I want to show you is my pretty little mini rose. I've got 3 of them in this flower bed. This one's doing the best. The other one's hidden in there. You can kind of see it in there behind the perennial sunflowers, little pink blossoms. And the third one has been nibbled on by the ducks, but plan on moving them to with the foxgloves this fall so we can see them. So I hope you enjoyed today's garden journey. Gonna end it out here with a grumpy goose. Don't forget to hit the like and subscribe button, and I'll see you on Sunday's video. Bye. So I don't know about you guys, but that is a really cool barn spider on the corner of the deck. She's on your side, so just getting the abdomen, but such a cool spider. Cool little spider.